Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 53 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
We're stacking them up, aren't we?
We are stacking them up. A little bit different for us this week because we're filming in the evening, which is very different. It means I can have a beer. I can have a Wrexham lager, which
That's
is
the only
lovely.
reason.
No, it's not the only reason. The reason is coming up on the show today, on our fan forum, we've got Lee coming on. Now, Lee lives in New Zealand. The time difference with New Zealand is about a week. I mean, they're quite far ahead. So we've had to structure and tailor the time that we record based around the fan forum this week. So Lee, it's all your fault. Come on, I'll let you know. So yes, what's been going on this week?
Well, first of all, I just want to send our condolences to Ben Tozer and his family because this week, sadly, his father passed away.
Yes,
which was really, really sad to hear. So yeah, sending loads of love, Ben, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's from both of us. I would say a full team. We don't have a team, just the two of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, really sorry. It was a sad thing to hear, wasn't it?
It was a sad
really
thing to hear.
Really was.
Yeah.
And what else has gone on this week, anyway?
Okay. Well, we've had a new sleeve sponsor.
Yes. Okay. That was very closed, but yes. Go on. Do you want to elaborate on that?
I don't know too much about this company.
Which company?
HP.
Don't you?
Not really.
Hewlett Packard.
Oh, is that who it is?
Oh dear me. Yes, that's who it is.
All right, I get the big deal now.
It's not the Source people.
I know that. But yeah, I knew they were a technology company.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I did know that.
Oh, just don't backtrack now. You've already put yourself in it.
Well, anyway, they got revealed this week by Rob and Ryan. They did that little skit video.
Funny video. I thought it was really good. If you haven't seen it, then just Google Ryan, Rob, HP, Wrexham. I don't know. Just search that on YouTube. It's a very funny video. Every video they do
is funny.
Is funny, and they make it, so that not just Wrexham fans want to watch it. Obviously, the ones that are annoyed at us for whatever reason
I think
are not going to watch it.
Watch it though.
They probably do,
yeah.
But they always make it, good fun. And I think, and then this was no different to any of the others, really.
No.
Well, we got another sleeve sponsor as well.
Yes.
So this was so Stoke Cold Brew Coffee sponsoring the other sleeve, as well as sponsoring the ground and the university end. And the toilets in the offices as well. I don't know. They're sponsoring.
There's a plaque in the toilet.
Yeah, they're sponsoring a lot of stuff. So I would guess they're giving us quite a bit of money for the privilege of doing all this, which is amazing. Now, 2 shirt sponsors.
Yeah.
Sleeve sponsors, sorry, not shirt sponsors. Few people have been a little bit annoyed this week.
Yes, because as you can see, these new sponsors are not currently on this shirt.
Unless you're listening to the podcast and you can't see anything.
Sorry.
But if you're watching on YouTube, obviously the new shirts don't have the sleeve sponsors.
Which is why people were getting a bit annoyed.
So I did see one guy on Twitter going, can I return my kit now? Because it's not a replica kit anymore because it hasn't got the sponsors on the sleeve. And then someone else going, well, let's be honest, if your shirt arrived with no sponsor on the front and then they got a sponsor, you'd want to return it and get the one with the sponsor on. Lots of angry people. Lots of normal, sane people as well who have basically said, is this for real? Are you serious? What do you think?
To be honest, I was actually on the way to work the other day. I was talking to your dad about it. And I said, let's face it, football, apart from like the first month in the football season, tends to be colder. In the cold months.
Yes.
So realistically, how often are you going to have your sleeves out for people to see? I get why people are annoyed, but
do you?
No, actually. I'm sure you can go on to Amazon or eBay or anything like that, and you could purchase the logo for yourself. And if you really, 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 really want to, stick it on yourself.
Well,
but I think...
I'm sure they'll be on, like, if you went in the shop in the next batch of releases, if it really bothered you, I think you could probably go into the shop. Now, all that being said, put that to one side. People aren't happy. That's fine. There's people's prerogative to not be
I'm
happy.
not being funny, but every single announcement that Wrexham are doing at the moment,
someone's annoyed.
Someone's annoyed.
Someone's annoyed, right. Like I said, put that to one side for a minute.
It's aside.
I'm not annoyed, right, because it happens. You know, sometimes you get, you know, it was quite late in the day that we got sleeve sponsors, because we weren't initially going to be allowed to have sleeve sponsors, because I think Sky Bet used to go on one arm last season and the League Two logo used to go on the other. So EFL clubs weren't allowed to have sleeve sponsors. So this has come about that they are now allowed. Hence why it's a little bit late, you know, that they're getting put on. So I'm not annoyed. Stuff like this happens.
Are you just disappointed?
I am a bit disappointed. I am. And I don't mean I'm not annoyed, but I'm a bit disappointed, like you'd say to your kid. I'm just a bit disappointed because I saw the HP logo on the sleeve and I thought, because I was like, people are mental, right? People are mental for being annoyed. And I saw the HP logo on the sleeve and I thought, oh, dude, that looks good, you know. Dude, that does look good.
Do you think?
Yeah.
That obviously we've. I know we're going to go on to this, but we've ordered the away and the third kit. Do you think, obviously, because that's pre-order, do you think that they will put them onto those shirts, or do you think they've already got them? And
I would say I think the sleeve sponsors are going to be on the other shirts. Yes. I do, if that's your...
Well, you're going to get your wish then, because you've got the black and the white.
Yes. So I will do, but it just looked really nice on the red. So yeah, not annoyed, because, you know, I'm just not.
Yeah.
A little bit disappointed. A little bit gutted, because
do you think you'll get over it?
Oh yeah, I'll get over it.
I mean...
Until the first game of the season, I'll be like, I haven't got HP on my arm. I haven't got stock coffee on my arm.
What?
I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. We're not moving away from shirts, because
we've got more annoyed fans.
A lot of news this week is shirt related. So
very shirt heavy.
First stop is the goalkeeper shirt. So the goalkeeper shirts kits were released this week. Last week, sorry for everyone listening. It's this week for us now, but anyway, I'm waffling. So the goalkeeper kits were released. A lot of angry people with children who were trying to buy a child's goalkeeper kit, full kit, and they were annoyed by the price. Now, the reason they were annoyed by the price, bear in mind this is a child's kit, it was £90 for the full kit.
And if you're buying it online, that's plus delivery, obviously, as well.
Plus the delivery on top, yeah. So £90. Now, thoughts before I go on?
Yeah, I can, you know, it goes back to the cost of living thing again, doesn't it? It's like, you know, there's people that...
Are they taking advantage of the popularity of the club? Do you feel that this is a point where they're taking advantage a little bit?
Who sets these prices? Because I'm assuming...
The club will set the price. Well, I'm assuming,
because obviously Macron are the ones that make them.
Macron have got plenty of kits out there that are a lot cheaper than this. So the club are deciding what they're putting this out at.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think they're taking advantage. I think that's quite a harsh kind of viewpoint to look at it.
Yeah, 90 quid for a kid's kit, though.
I mean, yeah, I suppose it is expensive. Yeah, you know, 90 quid is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. I haven't really got anything that I can sort of make it better. You know, any words that I say, I don't think there's anything that I can say.
I don't think you can, no. And I think maybe there is a touch of taking advantage of people during the time that the club is very popular and trying to... But I also don't blame them for trying to ride the wave of popularity to make the club sustainable. But we talked about this last week. It's a very fine line where you're going to start to really annoy people.
Yeah.
memberships we talked about last week. In 3 seasons, they've gone 10, 20, 30 pound. You're verging on taking the mick now of sort of milking people a little bit for memberships. The kit, 90 quid for a kid's kit for me is excessive. I would say so. I think you should be trying to look after your younger fans and family. If you want to charge 55 quid, 60 quid for an adult shirt, you crack on with that and you do what you need to do, right? But I think you've got to look after the kid side of things a little bit better than that, because I think what you're doing in a lot of instances is you're depriving kids of the opportunity to wear their team's colours because their parents can't afford it.
Yeah.
You've got companies out there like DHgate. Now, DHgate well, I'm not promoting DHgate before anybody that says anything. DHgate are well known for making, what would you call them? Look-alike kits, okay?
Okay.
They do a very big business in look-alike kits. Very big company. And
I have got something to say about this.
Okay, and so that's out there. So you've got the option of somebody putting 90 quid into the club or potentially putting 20 quid into DHgate's pocket. Yeah, all right, it's not going to the club you love, but you still got 70 quid in your pocket that you haven't spent on this. What do you have to say?
I've seen something on Twitter, actually earlier today.
Yeah.
Saying that somebody had bought this shirt from that company that you just mentioned. Don't want to be saying it too much because you don't want to be promoting it.
Yeah, they don't sponsor us or nothing.
No. So yeah, he bought the shirt, and you can tell it was £14. He said it was, and you could tell.
Okay, you can tell, but you could tell on an adult. Can you tell on a kid's?
I don't know because he hasn't got a kit.
Exactly, and this is the thing. It's a much smaller kit, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't. Anyway, like I don't want to.
How is that legal anyway?
I don't know. They're based in America, so I think it's something, and it's about international rules, isn't it? And what you can do with that.
Yeah.
There's a few people I saw on Twitter and various places who said, "Look, you can get a Premier League kit for that." I've been doing a little bit of research because I like to validate things that people say on Twitter. So I had a look at like the top 6, so like your Chelsea, your Liverpool, your United, Man City, all them, the big teams. You can't get a kids kit for 90 quid. They're all 100 plus to get a kids kit. Some of them were around £90, but didn't include socks because they hadn't, for whatever reason. I think you had to buy the home socks. They didn't have their own goalkeeper socks. Okay, so that would have pushed it over the £100 mark.
Right.
I even looked at some sort of mid-level Premier League teams like Aston Villa. They were over £100 as well. So just to validate what that is, that gives you an idea of that. Hold that thought.
Okay.
I then also looked at some League 2 teams because I thought, well, we're in League 2. Let's try and do a comparison. I looked, not everyone's got their kits out at the moment, so it did take a lot of time to do some research on actual now kits.
Yeah.
Bradford, full goalkeeper kit for a kid, 79. Doncaster, 69. AFC Wimbledon, 61. So that's quite a big difference based on what we're charging to people. I then thought, right, okay, let's jump up a couple of leagues. I went to the Championship.
Yep.
And Cardiff are 81 and QPR are 83.
I'm not sure you're helping the situation with these prices.
I don't think I am because we're jumping up 2 leagues and they're still cheaper than us.
Yeah.
You've got to get all the way to the top 10 in the Premier League before the kit becomes more expensive than what we're charging. I think sometimes we have to remember we were only a National League team last season. And yes, we've got lofty ambitions. Yes, we want to make the club, profitable and, sustainable for the future. I think sometimes there's a line. And for me, that line is children's merchandise. I think you've got to try and help people out a little bit.
Yeah, I think as well, yes, it's expensive. I'm not sure I would buy one. Luckily, Alfie isn't
yeah.
fussed on goalkeepers' kits. So we're lucky. But I think what they're trying to do, and we have to remember, a lot of our players are like League One. I mean,
I don't think that matters,
no,
though.
Listen to
Okay,
me.
okay, go on.
I have domestic. I'm joking. Yeah, we have to remember that people like Paul Mullen, Ben Tozer, Ollie Palmer, they all cost money. And I think that obviously, like you said, we are wanting to go into the Premier League.
Yeah.
I think he said Premiership then. That shows my age, doesn't it?
A little bit,
yeah. Yeah. So that we're heading towards the Premier League.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got to kind of think big, but I totally get what you're saying. I think we do have to look after the young fans, and I think a lot of people are annoyed by the lack of communication.
Oh, 100%. I'm going to come on to that in a minute, so I'll cut you off a little bit. I've got a little bit to talk about on that. Just a quick, we need to sort of ramp it up, otherwise Lee's not going to get a word in edgeways here. So the away kits and the third kits came out this week. Quickly, what did you make of them?
Love the black. Obviously, I've ordered it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm undecided on the white, purely because, and I was listening to the Two Beards podcast the other day. Earlier today, and they said the same thing. They love it with the green stripe and everything, but it's just the blue United that's sort of put in, and I get that, and I get why United or why we've done it.
Because that's their logo.
That's their colour of their logo and stuff like that. But I just, maybe the blue would have been better on the black.
Can I make a point here? Right, it's their logo. They're not going to change their logo.
No, well,
they paid enough money to not change their logo. They're willing to change it to white. Most companies will be willing to do that. As Hewlett Packard have done for the sleeve, as Stock Cold Brew Coffee have done for the sleeve. They're happy for their logo to change to white because predominantly that's what happens on shirts. A company will not change their logo to any other colour. Can you imagine going to Coca-Cola and go, see this red? Can we make it blue? Because it goes with our kit. Go to Starbucks and say, this green's got to go. We need it pink. It won't happen because it just won't.
Because it's not their logo.
Because that isn't their logo. I get the point though. I am with you. I have still bought it. Okay. But I just think maybe a little bit of thought into it of going, if that's what the logo is and they're willing to change it to white, why not do a block colour so that it can be white, or a block colour of, if you want to make it green again, do that. If you want to just make it a block colour. And it's the one thing that I'm slightly unsure. Still spent 55 quid on it, but it's
not just the blue that's, I'm a bit unsure about it, but I think it's one of those things that on the hanger it looks a bit meh.
Yeah,
but in reality it might look amazing.
It might do.
I won't be buying it though because
I already have. I bought the white and the black. The ordering process, I just wanted to touch on this quickly. It's a shambles. It's still an absolute shambles.
I mean, we've literally started this podcast off with some very negative things.
Yeah, but it's just the way it's been this week. It's an absolute shambles. I went on. I was on time. I was early. I went on. I managed to get the shirts I want. It was very slow, but I can accept that because there's a lot of people on the site. I got through to the payment. You had to tick a capture box to say that you're not a robot. But then when you proceeded to payment, it took so long to load that it goes, oh, your capture's expired. You need to do it again. In the end, I give up. I went on an hour later, tried to order the black one, told me the black one was out of stock. How a shirt can be out of stock for a pre-order doesn't make sense.
There must be something in the background that's sort of saying...
There must be. But this is where communication comes in for me, is if you do have a limit. Now, if you were pre-ordering, selling a pre-order of tickets for a game or a gig or whatever, then, and the venue can hold 50,000, right? And you put the tickets out for pre-order, you have a limit on pre-order. There is a limit because you can't fit more people in that place.
Yes.
If you are manufacturing something, there should be no limit. There shouldn't. It should be endless. You should be able to order what you want. You should never be getting a sold out message unless Macron have said, this is how many we can do for you in a reasonable amount of time. If that's what happens, communicate that to the fans. Don't just say, pre-order, fill your boots, lads. Away you go.
Lads.
And girls.
Thank you.
You know, I think just the communication, I think it's the one thing that this club is lacking at the moment.
I think as a country, I think we lack communication in a lot of things.
Yeah, maybe so.
But anyway, let's move on. Have we got
some more positive news?
Yep.
We've made we made a signing.
We did.
Welcome to Wrexham.
Thursday evening.
Yes, welcome to Wrexham, Will Boyle. He's come from Huddersfield Town. Didn't know a lot about him, I have to be completely honest. He is 27 years old. He's a centre-back. A little bit of a weird one for me because it's the one area where I didn't really think we needed strengthening. Although, we did play a lot of games last season with Tom O'Connor in a back three. Tom O'Connor, as versatile as he is a midfielder. So you would sort of go, maybe looking at it objectively, maybe we do need cover there. And maybe that is why we now have Will Boyle in.
I was reading something, and I'm quite excited about this when we go to start going to the games again.
Yeah.
Obviously Ben Tozer, epic throw on him.
Yeah.
Apparently they played at Cheltenham together.
They did for a while,
and there was something. I think it was back in 21. And it was something like Tozer throw in, Boyle.
Yeah,
smashed it in.
I think he scored a few from long throws. So
I'm looking forward to seeing them two work together.
Not only Ben Tozer, Billy Waters was his teammate at Cheltenham as well. So Billy Waters and Ben Tozer. He has also played with Callum McFadzean briefly when they were at Kilmarnock, and he has also played with Paul Mullin. Paul Mullin was in Huddersfield Youth at the same time that Will was at Huddersfield Youth as well.
Do you think that's that all those connections? Do you think that might have been kind of like a sounding point for Phil Parkinson, because he knows that they've played together before?
Tozer, yes. The others, maybe not.
No.
I don't think.
Maybe not gelling on the pitch, but
no. From everything I've heard, he's a great guy off the pitch. Mixed comments from Huddersfield fans that I've seen.
They're going to be like that, though, aren't they?
No, some were going, he's an amazing player. Can't believe he's dropped down 2 leagues. He'll absolutely smash it. Ranging from, I'll be completely honest, I forgot he was even at the club.
He didn't play that many last season.
He played 18 last season, but the reason he played 18 was because of injuries. As soon as them players came back from injuries...
Oh, not him injured.
As soon as players came back from injuries, he was then benched again. So, but everything I've heard of him, he's a great guy.
I watched the thing on Thursday night when they released it.
Yeah.
And I said to you about him going... Because where's he from?
He's Leeds-ish area.
Because that was it. It sounds about right, because he obviously said up the town, and it's so funny listening to other people that aren't from Wrexham saying it. I mean, Americans sound and Australians and that sound quite good saying it, but people from like Yorkshire, it's quite funny up the town.
Is that? Yeah.
I think that was a made-up accent then, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah,
and he came across all right. We haven't heard him speaking that much, but
no, not really.
No.
Look, we wait and see.
We do wait and see. Do you think he'll be a starter?
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you think our back three is going to be, but I honestly, I nearly had a meltdown trying to work it out, so I'm not even going to bring it up.
Please don't, because if you had a meltdown, can you imagine what my brain will be doing?
Do us a favour, comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. Just comment and just say what your back three is, because I can't work it out. I can't, and my head hurts now. So, it would be nice if somebody else did some of the work.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So we have got, very exciting, the up-and-coming games in America.
Do you know what? It's a while
in the
since
USA.
it's a while since we've done upcoming games, isn't it? On the podcast, it's so nice to do it.
Oh, I can't wait to be saying that again.
I know,
but
we are saying it now.
You know, I mean, like proper.
Yeah,
these are just friendlies. These aren't anything. You know, big opportunity for the guys, obviously, because they're playing teams like Chelsea and Man United and LA Galaxy. Are they a big thing?
In America, probably. They're not great at the moment, but 2 games, 19th of July versus Chelsea, and that's at the Keenan Memorial Stable in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. That is at 7:30 Eastern Time, which is midnight in the UK, for anybody who's interested. Games will be on ESPN.
What shift are you on?
It's midnight. I certainly won't be working then.
I know.
Oh, whether I'm on at 6 in the morning. It's next week.
We could potentially watch it.
Potentially watch
that.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And then the next game this week is the 22nd of July versus LA Galaxy 2. And that is at the Dignity Health Sports Park. And that is also at 7:30, but that's Pacific time. So that works out at 3:30 a.m. in the UK.
That's a Saturday though, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't do days. We've done this before. I don't do days. I do dates.
It is because the 20th is Thursday.
All right.
Oh no, is it? Yes, 22nd. It's the Saturday, which means that we could potentially. I'll have a little nana nap.
Yeah.
And we could. I could wake up and we could watch it.
Maybe. Let's wait and see. So exciting times. So yeah, we got 2 games coming up. Right. We are going to run through 2 teams that we're going to face this season, and then we're going to get Lee on to have a little chat with us. So first team is Morecambe. They are 96 miles away.
That's about an hour and a half away from here.
Okay.
Do you know how I know that?
90 minutes. Is that way?
Do you know how I know? No, not because of.
Oh, because you know somebody who lives there.
Yeah, we have family living. Well, I know we've got family that live in Lancaster, which is literally,
Okay. They play at the Mazuma Mobile Stadium. It only opened in 2010, replacing Christie Park, where they used to play.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a capacity of 6,476. Just over 2,100 of them are seated.
That's bizarre.
Why?
Oh, sorry, we're talking about Morecambe. I thought we were still talking about America.
No.
My brain was still there.
Yeah,
sorry, yes,
okay.
no, yeah.
The away end's the East Stand. It's the Denison Trailers stand, and you can get 1,389 away fans, and that's an all-terrace standing.
Okay.
They play in red, and the nickname is the Shrimps.
I wonder why that is.
I wonder why, because they're by the sea. Their mascot is Christie the Cat.
Why?
Because they used to play at Christie Park. So, Christie the Cat.
Yeah, but
Terrible name.
But why the cat?
I have no idea. They like cats in Morecambe, apparently. They were relegated from League One last season. They finished 22nd on 44 points, which was 2 points away from safety. They are the bookies' 3rd favourite to go down again this season, which is bizarre. They're managed by Derek Adams, who played over 300 league games, mainly in Scotland, and he managed Bradford until 2022, when Mark Hughes took over at Bradford.
So Mark,
Yeah.
Oh.
Their top scorer was Cole Stockton, who's now with Burton Albion. Guess who he was linked with not that long ago?
Wrexham.
Yes. So he was linked with us for a short while.
Who hasn't been linked with us?
I haven't yet. I'm waiting for my app.
They're not that desperate, babe.
Wow. Their local rivals are Accrington Stanley, which is a little bit weird because they're not that local.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
And this will definitely show my age.
Yeah.
Do you remember
the milk advert?
The milk advert.
I do.
Accrington Stanley. Who are they?
Exactly. Yes. Oh God!
God, that was in the 80s, surely.
Must have been 80s, 90s. Yeah. So the reason for that is, well, we'll move on to that in a minute. Sorry, we're not talking about Accrington Stanley.
No, we're not.
They're about an hour away from each other, but they have this rivalry, them 2 clubs. So who are we going to talk about next? Accrington Stanley.
Who are they?
Tell us something about them.
Well, they're 77 miles away.
Yeah.
So a bit closer than Morecambe. but still quite a way away. They play at the Crown Ground,
Yeah.
which is Wham Stadium. Is that Wham Bars?
No, it's not Wham Bars. No.
What is it?
It's some. I can't remember the company.
George Michael's band?
No, it's not them either. It's a company. They do. I don't know. Google it for yourself. But
I'm intrigued.
yeah,
they've got a capacity of 5,450.
yeah,
and 3,100 of those are seated.
yes.
Which is quite a few. Away end is Coppice End. Coppice?
Yeah, if you like. Yeah.
End holds 1,800, and again, it's an open terrace. I'm not feeling these open terraces.
No,
I'm going to get one of those hats with the umbrella on, I think. They're part of Whitney Hill Terrace, also used for a large away following.
Yes.
Which we have, history has proven that we have got a very large following.
Yes.
Wrexham, that is.
I'm just going to stop you. Wham it's What More UK, and basically they make plastic storage boxes.
All plastic. Controversial.
Yeah.
Anyway, they play in red. Mascot is Winstanley the Bulldog.
Yeah, Winstanley. Yeah.
Winstanley.
Yeah.
Again, Bulldog. Why?
I don't know. There's a story behind it though. That the groundsman turned up one day, and there was a puppy bulldog asleep on the centre circle.
Oh.
It's a story. It's made up.
Oh.
And so they went and got the puppy, and they adopted it, and now the puppy has grown up into Winstanley, who is the mascot.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Fairy tale sort of story, not an actual story.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the nickname is the Old Reds. Old Reds.
The Old Reds.
We're the Old Reds.
Yeah, we are pretty old. Yeah.
Originally, Accrington Stanley went into liquidation in 1966. So that's interesting. The current club started in 1968.
It did.
They were relegated from League One last season, hence why they're in League Two now. They finished 23rd. I'm sorry. They finished 23rd on 44 points, which is 2 points from safety.
Yes.
You haven't put here about the bookies. Have the bookies said where
they're down there? They're down there as well.
They're going down next season.
They're going. They're one of the favourites to go down. Yeah.
And they're managed by John Coleman, who has been there since 2014.
Yeah.
And their top scorer is Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee, yeah. Used to be the drummer of Motley Crue. No, not him.
I was going to say it's not spelled the same.
Married to Palmer Anderson. No, not him. It's such a it's a bizarre name.
Any more jokes?
Not that I can think of. No. I don't know any more facts about Tommy Lee, the drummer. So.
Didn't even know he was a drummer.
No, okay.
I just know that he was married to Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
And they had a weird relationship.
They did have a weird relationship.
But I'm sure Tommy Lee has got a very nice relationship.
Made a video, didn't they?
They made a sex video.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a guest. You've thrown me.
Sorry, did that word throw you?
You've completely flummoxed me there. I should have known better, really, than to bring it up in the first place, and you'd have pounced on it. I know what you're like. So, anyway, we've got Lee coming on today. Now, Lee is, as I've mentioned before, from New Zealand.
He is.
Now, he does have a bit of a connection to Wrexham, which we'll discuss very shortly. So, welcome to Me, the Wife from Wrexham AFC. Lee, how are you doing?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. So, we did sort of mention earlier on that you are very much a new fan, although you're not necessarily new to Wrexham, as it were, because you've got a little bit of a connection to Wrexham through your dad, haven't you? That's right.
Yeah, my dad was born and grew up in Wrexham.
Cool. So, have you been to Wrexham?
Yes, when I was younger. Last time I was about 12 years old, just to visit my grandmother there.
Have you? When was the last time then that you actually visited Wrexham? That would have been quite some time ago, I'm guessing.
Yeah, back in 1989 it was.
1980. So it's been a while since you've actually been to Wrexham then.
It has indeed, yeah.
I think a lot's changed since 1989.
Yeah, yeah. So, as I said, you're a new fan to Wrexham. So, how long have you been supporting the club?
Yeah, the AFC club since the documentary. So I was watching Welcome to Wrexham, and that got me on board immediately from the first episode.
With Welcome to Wrexham, it's been nominated for 6 Emmy Awards. I don't think we mentioned that it'd been.
We didn't,
we didn't
no.
mention. So it's been, so just for everyone listening, it's been nominated for 6 Emmy Awards. When you were watching it, Lee, did you get a sense that it was the documentary was going to be something special, and it was, it was obviously it drew you in to the club and supporting the club. Did you get that sort of sense it was something special and that it was going to sort of win awards, sort of left, right, and centre?
Yeah, I don't know about win awards, but it was certainly special to me. It was something seeing Wrexham from the stories that my dad always talked about, and seeing the town was certainly a special thing for me to watch.
Was there a specific point in the documentary where you thought, "Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna go and support this club"?
Yeah, it was talking about before Robin Ryan took over, how the fans had basically bought the club back and were doing what they could to support it themselves. That kind of won me over, that underdog story. Yeah, I think that was the point for me.
I think the question that sort of cropped up in my mind was, because obviously with all the guests that we get on, we exchange a few emails first. We just don't just dive into these interviews. We exchange a couple of emails. We have a little bit of a chat on email first. And the first thing that came to mind, because you'd mentioned that your dad sort of grew up in Wrexham, and that you'd been into football in the past. So the question that sort of came up in my mind is, what took you so long to start supporting Wrexham with that connection that you already had?
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about it. I've been a Formula One fan before now, but not really supporting any Premier League soccer clubs or anything from other countries. So yeah, it was just the documentary just kind of kicked it off for me.
So you mentioned the sort of Premier League there. So how big is sort of British football in New Zealand? Because I'm guessing, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm guessing that rugby is quite big in New Zealand, and how does football feature in the landscape of New Zealand, and how popular are maybe not British but Premier League teams, let's say, in New Zealand?
Yeah, they certainly had their following. I remember probably later in high school, some of my friends were following Juventus and Inter Milan and AC Milan, some top clubs from Italy, I think it is. Also, more recently, I've got friends who support Liverpool and Arsenal, and follow the Premier League. So it's definitely got its following here.
Is it difficult for sort of like New Zealand fans to sort of follow British football because of the time difference? Like, for example, have you streamed any of the Wrexham games sort of live as yet?
No, I haven't streamed any of the games live. But yes, when I was following Formula One, that was 3 a.m. in the morning to watch the European series. So I do know it's an early wake up.
So you mentioned there that you went new to football. Is football something that you've played yourself in sort of younger years in school and things like that?
Yes, yeah, my parents kind of pushed me into playing soccer when I was in primary school. So I played that up until I was 10 years old. And then they gave me the option, did I want to keep playing? And I said no. It was, yeah, I'd rather have my Saturday mornings off.
Was your dad a big football fan?
Not particularly. He did talk about getting taken to the racecourse by his dad, but he generally sat at the back of the stadium and threw rocks down the back of the stadium. So wasn't particularly interested in the games.
No, so perhaps you'd sort of say maybe that's the reason why you didn't sort of develop that passion till a little bit later on. Maybe that, you know, if your dad was a sort of die-hard Wrexham fan, it might have sort of bled into you a little bit, but maybe that's one of the reasons why. Now, when we had a little bit of a chat, as I say, via email, and you know, sort of back and forth, and as you quite rightly said, you haven't watched any games live, but I'm guessing that you're watching quite a bit of the highlights on YouTube and stuff like that, and that's how you're sort of keeping up with the team.
Yeah, I'm following the Wrexham AFC YouTube page, watching highlights from games with that, and listening to your podcast. Yeah, keeps me up with the play, hopefully.
So all the highlights are the best bits, obviously.
Yeah.
So that, you know, you're getting rid of all the rubbish and just watching the highlights, which are the best bits. So earlier on, Ryan and I spoke about the new shirts that have just been released. So obviously you've got the red one, which we've obviously got on if you're watching on the YouTube channel, and the white away one with that green strip down the front. And
hang on, just don't be so dismissive of the white one. Well, yeah, go on.
And also the black one. So obviously that's been all over the Wrexham pages and stuff like that. Which shirt is your favourite, or you might not even have a favourite, but which one would be your favourite?
Yeah, I've definitely tried to get the Wrexham, the red one in the past. Unfortunately, it was sold out. So I did end up getting myself just a beanie.
Yes,
from the Wrexham AFC shop.
Yeah, a Wrexham bobble hat. That is nice. Yeah. Yes,
I love my Wrexham bobble hat.
Yes, and fair play. I think you've sort of touched on something there. When you were trying to buy sort of merchandise, did you find it was quite difficult from so far away?
Yeah, not so much the distance, but I was trying to buy it halfway through the Welcome to Wrexham's season.
Yeah.
And so they were pretty well sold out. Yeah, I'll have to get myself a scarf next and complete the look.
Yeah, definitely. From from the games, the highlights, obviously, that you've watched, we've got a lot of amazing players at the moment in that squad. Do you have a favourite player that sort of stands out for you?
Yes, it has to be Paul Mullins. He's so quick with the boot to strike a goal. It's just amazing to watch.
It is.
He is pretty good.
He is. It's a strange one, to be honest, because I was quite interested to ask that question because I sort of knew what the answer was going to be, because for somebody who, I would say, if you separated two fans and you've got somebody where the games are on at 3:00 in the morning all the time, and then you've got another fan who was able to stream the games live because it was at a reasonable time for them to do that, I dare say, and then let's throw a third one in, you've got someone who actually went to the games, I dare say you'd have three different favourite players from that. Now, I think I knew Lee was going to say his favourite player was Paul Mullin. Don't get me wrong, somebody who watches a full game and somebody who goes to the game, a lot of people would still say Paul Mullin.
I think it's hard not to say Paul Mullin, to be honest.
Although I think from highlights, I think sometimes you don't get to see how good some of the other players are because they're highlights.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the goals and you're going to get the shots on goal and the attempts on target, off target.
Very Paul Mullin heavy, aren't they, the highlights?
I would say so. Yeah, no, that's my point. I would say the highlights are very Paul Mullin heavy.
Yeah.
You know, you're not necessarily going to get an amazing tackle from Owen O'Connell in the middle of the pitch appearing on a highlight.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Unless it was a red card, then that's a highlight for the game, isn't it?
Yeah. Lee, what are your hopes for next season for Wrexham? How do you think? Obviously, we've gone up now to League 2. How do you think it's going to go for us next season? Where do you think Wrexham are going to place next year?
Yeah, I have to say it's probably going to be tougher than we imagine. We've got Notts County going up with us. We've got all the League Two. Whoever's come down from League One as well. They're going to be tough teams and they're on the pitch. However they're doing in the league, they're going to try to make sure they beat Wrexham at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's the core thing, isn't it? It was just the same last season. Obviously, people were coming to the race course and like, right, whether we go up, get promoted this season, we just have to beat Wrexham.
Yeah.
We are like the kind of the top team that people want to beat.
Yes, I think
which is going to continue, obviously, in all the leagues that we go up, I suppose.
Just one more question for you, Lee. We've got, obviously, Ryan and Rob have made no sort of, they haven't hidden the fact that their dream is making it, to the Premier League. We've got a way to go. We get that. We understand that.
Nothing wrong with a bit of ambition, though.
There is nothing wrong with that. Do you think it's possible? Let's be realistic for a second. We were in non-league football last year. We've just come up to League Two. Between us and the Premier League, we've still got League One. We've still got the Championship before, you get to the Premier League. Do you think getting to the Premier League is realistic?
Yeah, definitely. With Ryan and Rob's support, I think we've definitely got the opportunity to go up and achieve it. It may not be with the team we have now, but certainly we've got opportunities there, definitely.
See, when you say League Two, League One, Championships, Premier, it sounds really easy, doesn't it?
It sounds closer than it is.
It sounds closer than it, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we can smash that. It's not a problem. But then when you kind of you think about it in like real terms, it's like, yeah, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park for Wrexham. And like Lee just said, it may get to the point where we haven't got the same team that we've got now. Obviously Parky's going to, hopefully Parky will still be managing us, but he'll be bringing in more players. And do you think we'll ever have a Premier League player? Say we're in League One.
Well, yeah. I mean, that naturally, I think we were in the National League and we were recruiting players from League Two and League One. That was our transfer philosophy, as it were. Now we're in League Two. We've made one signing so far, but that is a Championship player. That is
still pretty good, though.
Yeah, that's 2 leagues above us.
Yeah.
So when we get to League One, you'd have to start arguing maybe someone towards the end of their career, Premier League player, willing to drop down to League. We're always looking at 2 leagues ahead. So why not? Why not? Right, we're going to come back to Lee in just a second. Lee's going to join us for the quiz, as the guest always does.
Yeah.
Just to touch on some people who got in touch. Sorry, one person who got in touch.
One person.
Yes.
Chaz Llewellyn.
Yes.
Did I say it? Llewellyn.
Llewellyn,
yeah. He's an American from Billings, Montana. So he got in touch and we've been obviously exchanging a few emails with him. So thank you very much for getting in touch, Chaz.
He started a Wrexham fan group and they got together for the weekend matches. He watches the Tuesday games on his phone while he's in work.
Maybe we shouldn't say that.
Maybe we shouldn't mention. Let's hope your boss doesn't actually listen to the show, Chaz. He's coming to Wrexham next February or March to watch a game, hoping his wife will fall in love with the team.
It's hard not to.
And he said something lovely in his email, which I clipped and I wanted to say. He said, "You two make me feel so comfortable as a new American fan." Well, thank you very much, Chaz. We will keep in touch.
He made me laugh, actually, and I when I replied to the email, I did say, because he said that even with the Wrexham group that he's got, when they do meet up and things, he said, even if it's 5:30 in the morning, he said, we will have a beer to watch the game. And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to get in touch, or if you want to come on the fan forum like Lee has this week, you can get in touch on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Just a quick one about Dragon Chat, as I do every week. It's a mental health peer support group, and they run a weekly Zoom call on a Thursday, 7 till 8:30, for anybody who's struggling and would like to talk to somebody. The ideal thing to do here is to follow Dragon Chat Steve Lloyd on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got their own dedicated page. We always direct you to the Wrexham AFC page. They have their own dedicated page.
Yeah.
So it's Dragon Chat, Steve Lloyd. Have a little look on there. They'll post all the details. If you're watching on YouTube, the details of how to get on the call are down in the description. They also do something called Dragon Chat Strollers. So that is basically where anybody who wants to talk and have a chat with somebody, if you're not comfortable, not everybody is comfortable doing it over Zoom, and they like more of a face-to-face, they do a Dragon Chat Strollers. It's on a Thursday morning usually. It's not always every Thursday morning. That's why it's worthwhile following Steve on Twitter, on the Dragon Chat page. He releases details the day before of where they're going to be walking. So they did Acton Park most recently, last week.
Yep.
They did Llangollen on the 29th of June, and they did Tmawr on the 21st of June. So in the last 4 weeks, they've done 3 Thursdays of it. So that's why I say it's not quite every week, but it's most weeks.
Yeah.
Follow them on Twitter, get over there, and then if you want to do that, you know, obviously you're more than welcome to do that.
Just a quick reminder, obviously we mentioned a couple of weeks ago that we are on the Listener's Choice for the British Podcast Awards, and it's just a reminder to vote for us. Sorry, I didn't know where I was going with that then. Yeah, basically it's British Podcast Awards. You go and it'll say select your podcast, which is obviously Me, the Wife, and Wrexham AFC.
Yeah.
And then you could submit your vote, and all you need to do is fill your name and your email. That's it.
Yeah.
And the voting closes on the 5th of September. We'll put the link down in the description if you're listening on YouTube. But if you go to any of our socials, there is like pinned posts on there as well.
Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. It's all a pinned post at the top.
I'm still getting used to Thread, so I'm not quite sure how to pin on that yet. So, but it'll be on there. It is on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, just have a scroll through.
Right. So it's quiz time.
Yay.
Yeah. So as always, it is 2 lies, 1 truth. There will be 5 sections to this. As always, I will read the 3 statements out. I will go to Sian first for an answer. Then I'll go to Lee for an answer, and we will determine a winner after 5 sections.
Good luck, Lee.
Yeah, good luck, Joe.
Let's go.
Number 1.
Right.
We conceded more goals last season with Aaron Hayden in the team than we did without him. Number 2. Jordan Tunnicliffe scored more league goals than Jordan Davis last season. Or number 3. Collectively, Wrexham received 70 yellow cards last season. I think 60 of them were Luke Young. No, joking.
I'm going to go with option number 2.
Number 2, Lee?
I think the yellow card's option 3.
Option 3. So you've gone for 2, Lee's gone for 3. The answer's number 1.
Oh.
So we did concede more league goals last season with Aaron Hayden in the team. It was 23 goals in 27 games versus 20 goals in 19 games. So admittedly, we did play a lot more games with him than without him. Okay.
0-0.
0-0. Second one. Not including injury time, Ben Tozer played a total of 3,640 minutes in the league last season. Number 2. The new black shirt was inspired by the Ajax 22-23 third kit, also made by Macron. Or number 3, the racecourse is the only address to have the LL11 2AH postcode.
I'm going to go with number 1.
Number 1, the Ben Tozer one?
Yeah, because he played every single game.
He did.
So, yeah.
Lee?
Yeah, I think I'll go with number 2.
Number 2, so the black kit. So you've gone for 1, Lee's gone for 2. The answer's number 3. So the racecourse is the only address to have that postcode. No other address has that postcode.
Terrible this week.
0-0. Number 3. In the last 6 games of the season, all of the Wrexham goal scorers were all of the Wrexham goals were scored by players whose surname starts with a letter in the first half of the alphabet? Number 2, no player in our first team squad has a surname that starts with a vowel. Or number 3, none of the current squad's players' names appeared in the top 20 boys' names in the UK in 2022.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to go with 3.
Number 3, Lee?
Yeah, number 2 again.
Number 2. So Lee's gone for 2, Sian's gone for 3. The answer's number 1. This has never happened.
It hasn't.
So
Wow.
The last 6 games of the season, all of Wrexham's goals were scored by players whose surname starts with a letter in the first half of the alphabet. Okay, number 4. Are we
Wow.
going to get a point on the board?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
The most common score for an opponent playing Wrexham last season was 0, 1, or 2 or more.
I'm going to go with 3.
2 or more.
Yeah.
Okay, Lee?
Option 2, 1.
Option 2, 1. Yes, we have a correct answer, and that is Lee.
Oh,
well done,
done.
Lee. So the most common score for an opponent playing Wrexham was 1. So 0, 18 times, 1, 23 times, or 2 or more, 14 times. So well done, Lee. The last one. You did so well last week, and you have crashed and burned.
I have crashed and burned.
Okay, the last one. Wrexham released a picture this week of the new away and third kit.
Mm-hmm.
The picture contained 5 players. What is the combined total of the squad numbers of them 5 players? Is it 1, 72? Is it 2, 82? Or is it 3, 92?
Oh my God. Why are you asking me a maths question? I'm going to go with 2.
Number 2, 82?
Yeah,
And Lee?
No, not that high. Number 1.
Number 1, 72. I'll give you the numbers. Jordan Davis, number 7.
You give me the numbers. I can't add up
Paul
that
Mullin,
quick.
number 10. Bryce Hosanna, 17. Jacob Mendy, 19. And Ryan Barnett, 29. The total was 82. Yes! Well done. So this week we have a draw. We have 1-1. It's quite low scoring, but congratulations to the both of you and well done.
Well done, Lee.
I just want to say thank you very much to Lee for coming on this week. It's been lovely to talk to you and hear about your connection to Wrexham. And as we always say to everybody, you know, I did sort of joke with you a little bit. Why did it take so long? For us, it doesn't matter how long it takes to become a Wrexham fan. As long as people get there in the end and start following the club, it's brilliant for us. So that's excellent. And thank you to all of you for listening as well this week. And we will see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.